Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Baked Shrimp, Jared Cowen on their latest LP.
are the songs road tested before you record them, or do you write stuff recorded and then take it on the road?
Are you specifically talking about the Quarantine album, or are you
Or
talking about
any
in
of
general?
them? Any, just in general, is there a process that you do, or does it change from album to album?
Yeah, so um, I would say for the most part, everything is road tested. Uh, we do slip in a few songs. Okay, sometimes we do. On the new album, there is going to be a song that hasn't been heard before. Um, and on the albums before, I think Pork Etiquette had two songs on it that weren't heard before, and I think Conscious had two songs on it that weren't heard before. Um, so we, for the most part, though, they are songs that are road tested live. But the Quarantine album, Bubble Suit, is a funny one. A quick, brief context on that one is basically that we didn't bring in any engineers for that at all. I don't, and also this was, I mean, I since then I've gotten better with mixing and stuff because I mix all the Baked Shrimp soundboards and so I've gotten better on it. I also do my own solo albums, which I do the mixing on. I've gotten better with that too. But at the time in 2020, I really didn't know anything about mixing or anything like this. So, and I was
Me,
using
me and
GarageBand.
podcast, me and podcast in
Yeah,
2020.
this was done through GarageBand even. So, um, this, this was but this was part of the whole goal here was to not bring in any outside engineers, anything like that, any producers, nothing. Basically, it was like April of 2020. Like I was like, okay, like got to figure something out here. Like like we're not going on tour. There's no dates. So like, um, I wrote a lot of songs. I just like went into writing and just wrote a lot of songs. Some of them, some of them I already had. For the most part, no though, and they were just some of them were just like really short ditties and whatnot. And I said, I want to let's figure out a way to put out a Quarantine album. Basically, I had like I have like a Focusrite, and I can record into GarageBand. I think the other guys also had some type of devices. Jagger had like an overhead mic. I recorded my vocals in a car. It's in front of an enclosure, so I recorded my vocals in the heat of the summer in a car, and like sweating my ass off. Um, and Yeah, so basically everybody sent their tracks over. I threw them into GarageBand, mixed them. These songs, there was 12 of them. We never even played together as a group before the album was released, which was really unique. We never ever played these songs together as a group, not just live, but not even in the same room. We've never played these together as a group. So that's what made that album so cool. It sounds, it's funny because out of context, if you don't know the context behind Bubble Suit, and like you put on Big Shrimp and you listen to Bubble Suit, the album, you're gonna be like, what's going on here? Like, it's not. There's we've even talked about should we keep it on Spotify and whatnot. But always been a big I've always been a big advocate of it because of just of how special the recording of it is and the whole context behind what a weird um, kind of time we were going through and during COVID and it
It's a
you know
reflection.
and those and a lot of that's what a lot of those songs are about on Bubble Suit. But so most of the album is about on Bubble Suit is like the very strange time that we were all in together, So, um, and yeah, it wasn't, a, a great production by any means, but that's the whole point behind it, and that's why we
It
still have.
harkens back. It harkens back to like Velvet Underground or the Stooges or any of those bands that
Right.
do had the DIY ethic. That's the punk thing.
Right. It's
That's their
supposed to be a
punk thing.
lo-fi DIY effort. symbolizing the times of COVID-19.
Dr.
But yeah,
Dog
so
made a
that,
whole
that
career.
album,
Dr. Dog made a whole career out of lo-fi
yeah,
recordings like that.
exactly. So that album, no, it wasn't road tested, of course. Wasn't even together tested, practice tested. Um, but for the most part, yes, most of the songs are road tested, with the exception of like one or two on an album.
Right. So the last the Quarantine album, how many of those songs have made the jump to regular rotation, and have they morphed? Have they changed from what they were over quarantine?
Specifically, Bubble Suit on the
Yeah,
Quarantine album, or
specifically.
okay.
Do you need
Um,
to look up what's on it?
no, I know off the top of my head. It's funny that you said that because we just got off a huge tour, and
I know you did,
at
yeah.
at the end of any given tour, I start to get a little bit antsy with songs because we play so many, you know. So it's funny that you said Bubble Suit, just because at the end of this last tour we played a lot of Bubble Suit songs. And so to answer your question, no. Most songs on Bubble Suit we kind of left as they're more rarities. I love those songs, but road test wise, they don't quite fit this the in as well. Like there's like a lot of there's a few like 3 minute punk songs on there, you know, believe it or not, that I wrote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, there you go.
but Scott also has one on there too, like a 3 minute punk song. Um, but I'm trying to think if there's anything on Bubble Suit that actually has made. We have a song called Conduit that has kind of made its way into the regular rotation a little bit. It's Rock Bottom. For the most part, uh, yeah, I would say for the most part those songs are rare. But over the past week, though, we were playing them a bunch, so it's funny that
Right.
said
Oh,
that.
maybe you can do an alter ego opening group that does this punk songs
Yeah, well,
for a half hour.
I did that because I had a lot of these songs started from a band I was in college called Winupawuk. It was basically this was while Baked Shrimp was going on, but heading into that last my last semester of college, I knew I only had one semester, and I wanted to do like a band that was uh like anti jam band, like not like what I do, you know. And basically, I like I gave myself this exercise for like a week where I was kind of in a songwriting slump, and I gave myself a exercise for a week where every day I wrote a few songs. But part of the rule was that uh I I need to write the song in 30 minutes, like from when I started to when I finished. So that's why a lot of these songs are short. So when I started, when I finished, like I plug in a beat, come up with a bass line and guitar riff, and the song and lyrics, everything had to be done in 30 minutes. So it like made me like really focus for 30 minutes. And like some of the songs were really stupid, you know, like how the hell are you gonna come up with all? But
Fish
there
made
was
a
some
whole career off of stupid songs.
but there was a lot of cool ones that came out of it, and those ones, I they were like 10 that I put a stamp of approval on and made a band out of called Winupawuk in college, and we played the same set list. We probably played like 5 gigs, played the same set list, the same way for 5 nights, and wore the same outfits for 5 nights. And that was like kind of the thing of it. But a lot of that stuff came over, and some of it ended up on Bubble Suit. Drinking on the Beach is one of those songs. Benny is one of those songs. Um, and then there's a few other songs. One of them was actually Melting Over Nothing, which became more of a prominent Baked Shrimp song, which made its way onto Conscious, which is which is in our regular rotation we do all the time. And
And it's a fantastic title. It's a fantastic title. It really it's a
thank
great song name. It's one of those things that when I was 14, I saw that I would have gone out and bought the single back in the 80s.
but thanks. But a lot of so that was so a lot of those songs ended up being in the regular Baked Shrimp rotation. Yeah, with Napawak. That was a fun one.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.